So today we have to start a new topic. What was that new topic here? We have to start now. So a special class on this Sunday. Now this class would be wrapper classes. We are going to understand. Wrapper classes topic here we have to understand. Right. Just wait a minute of time. Now let me prepare. 1 minute, guys. Drive Java 11. Right. Then wrapper classes. Right. Wrapper classes. Now, if you want to understand this wrapper classes part, if you want to understand wrapper classes part, first we have to understand what is collection, what is the requirement of the collection, what is the intention of this collection, that we have to understand. Okay, right, guys. Now understand this clearly. What is collection actually? What is the meaning of collection? Guys, do you have any idea on these collections? What is collection? What exactly the meaning of collection? Do you have any awareness on it? Yes. Right. Collection is an object. Collection framework. Okay, good. Collection is an object. Anything else apart from this? Is a group of similar things. No, not similar things. Group of similar things, not similar things actually. Collection is a framework to collect objects. Okay, Vardhan. What is a collection? Just simply I'm asking there, what is a collection? Retrieve array problems. Okay, good. Anyway, guys, answer for this one is very simple. Collection is an object. Collection is an object. It able to manage a group of other objects. A group of other objects. That's it. Come again. Collection is an object. It able to manage a group of other objects. Right. Remember this, collection is an object. It able to manage a group of other objects. Once again, I'm telling to you clearly. Understand this, no? In Java, collection objects are able to manage reference values of other objects. In Java, collection objects are able to manage the reference values of other objects, reference values of the other objects. That means object is not going to be stored, but references of the other objects are going to be managed by collections. That means what is the meaning of this point here? No, collections objects are not storing primitive data directly. Collection objects are not storing primitive data directly. Collection objects are able to store only references of the other objects. Tell me, guys, I'm asking this question to all of you now. All of you now tell me, collection objects are able to store which data? Is that directly primitive data? Is that directly primitive data or reference values of the objects? What collection objects are able to store? Collection objects are able to store directly primitive data or references of the other data, other objects. What they are able to store? No. Collection objects are able to store what? Reference values of the objects. Collection objects are able to store reference values of the objects. Not what? No, not primitive data directly. Not primitive data. It able to store references of the other objects. So that is the meaning of like what? No, collection object. Okay, good. But I have a requirement. What is my requirement? No, my requirement would be I want to store, if I want to manage primitive data, if I want to manage primitive data in a collection objects, if you want to manage primitive data in collection objects, then we have to use the following process, following approach. What was that approach here we have to use there? We have to use the following approach. What is that approach here? Approach would be very clear. First one is represent the data in a primitive variable. Second one is convert primitive data to object form. And third one is send object to collection object. Send object to collection. Send object to collection. That's it. So first of all, what we have to do? Represent data in a primitive variable. Next, convert a primitive data to object type. Send object type to collection. This is what exactly the process. That means now, what I'm telling you, I will show this everything in the form of a diagram now. Observe carefully. Now, for example, I have primitive data here. What is my primitive data now? My primitive data would be int I is equal to 10. This is the primitive data. Okay, fine. Now this is a collection object. This is collection object. This is primitive data and this is collection object. Now I want to send this primitive data to this collection object. I want to send this primitive data to the collection object. Okay. How we are able to send this primitive data to the collection object? No. Directly can I send int I is equal to 10 directly I is equal to 10? Can I send like this? Can I send I is equal to 10 value to the collection object? Think about it, guys, all of you know. Can I send directly I is equal to 10 to the collection object? No. Why? No, not possible. Why? Collection objects are able to store reference values of the other objects. It is not going to store primitive data. But I is equal to 10 is what? No, primitive data. So we are unable to keep directly primitive data inside the collection object. Okay, so what we have to do now? If you want to keep this primitive data inside the collection object, then what we have to do now? Nothing. Just simply we have to convert this data, this primitive data, into object form. So in object form, the data has to be converted. Now inside this object form, what we are going to be have there, I is equal to 10 data. Here we are taking now. This is exactly like what? No, primitive data, primitive type. And this is like what? Now what I'm telling there, object type. This is like object type. Whenever we are getting this object type now we can convert this object type value to collection object. Now we can send this object type data to like what? No, collection object, where what we are having there, a is equal to 10 data is available. Now this is object, actually object type. Now tell me, this is object type actually. Now tell me, now collection object is storing, is that object type or primitive data directly? Collection as a stored object or primitive data directly? Answer for my question, guys. Now collection has a stored object or not? Now collection has stored object. That object contains what? No, primitive data. Collection has a stored object, no, but that object has stored like what? No, primitive data. Understand it clearly? Right, sir. Then what next one? Then after that, all right. Finally, here we are keeping that primitive data into the collection object. But how we are able to keep it now? First we have to convert this primitive data to object type. That object type we send it to like what? No, collection. That's okay, fine. After storing this primitive data inside the collection, I want to read that primitive data to outside of the collection. I want to get this primitive data to outside of the collection. Then what is the process, Keno? What will be the process, Keno? Understand this clearly. Now the point is like what I'm telling to you know. If you want to get the primitive data, if you want to get primitive data from collection, then we have to use the following approach. What is that approach here we have to use there? Right, now observe this clearly. First one is get object from collection object. Get object from collection object. And second one is convert data from object type to primitive type. Primitive type. Convert data from object type to primitive type. Then once you are getting primitive type, no, then we can use the data directly. Right, sir. Object to primitive type here we have to convert. Now let's see in the diagram here. Then here object type is existed here. So this object type must be retrieved from the collection object. Object type. That object we have to get it from collection object. Yeah, this is like what no object here we are getting. Now inside this object here, what we are getting the data no. I is equal to 10. We are getting the data. Now this is like what no object type here we are getting. Then after getting this object type, then what next one here? We have to convert this data from object type to primitive type. We have to convert the data from object type to primitive type. Now here we have to write like what no int I is equal to 10 we have to provide. Int I is equal to 10 that we have to provide. Right, so now we are getting it. Now all of you understand this clearly. If you want to send data, if you want to send data to the primitive data to the collection object, first we have to convert that primitive type to object type, and later on we have to send that object data to collection. Next one, if you want to get this primitive data from the collection, no, first we have to read object type from the collection. From object type we have to convert data to like what no primitive data type. Now all of you know observe carefully. In this overall scenario, 2 times conversions here we performed. Guys, in this overall scenario, now tell me how many types of conversions here we performed here? No, 2 types of conversions here we performed. What are the 2 types of conversions here? What are the 2 types of conversions here? What are the 2 types of conversions here, guys? Now tell me. What are the 2 types of conversions here? Primitive type to object type, then object type to primitive type. Good. Here we need primitive type to object type conversion majorly. Then this is primitive type to object type. Then other one is like what now? Object type to primitive type. Object type to primitive type. Primitive type to object type. Another one is like what now? Object type to primitive type. Okay. Right, sir. Primitive type to object type and object type to primitive type. Then what we provided clearly now. Exactly, guys. Understand this clearly. What I'm telling to you know. Converting data from primitive type to object type and object type to primitive type. Converting data from primitive type to object type and object type to primitive type. For this purpose, here we are going to use a set of predefined classes. That set of predefined classes are called as what? No, wrapper classes. To convert data from primitive type to object type and from object type to primitive type, there we required a set of predefined classes. That set of predefined classes are called as like what? No, wrapper classes. This is what exactly the meaning of like what? No, wrapper classes. What is the need of these wrapper classes? Here we understood clearly. All of you guys understand this point, what I'm telling you know. So now this is wrapper classes. Wrapper classes introduction. Right, so now here I'm confirming that in the above context, to convert data from primitive type to object type and from primitive type to object type and from object type to primitive type and from object type to primitive type. In above context, to convert the data from primitive type to object type and from object type to primitive type, Java has provided a set of predefined classes, called as wrapper classes. That's it. This is what exactly the meaning of like what no wrapper classes part. Everybody understand this points clearly. What I'm telling to you now. This is the meaning of like what no wrapper classes. Okay. Right, sir. Now, this is the meaning of this wrapper classes here. We understood. That's okay. Good. Next one is after completion of this. What are the various wrapper classes which are provided by Java? Where Java has provided all these wrapper classes, no? Java has provided all the wrapper classes in java.lang package. Java has provided all the wrapper classes in java.lang package. Right. Java has provided all the wrapper classes for each and every primitive type in a java.lang package. Now here we can understand then how we are able to provide it. Right, sir. Understand it clearly what I'm telling you. Now in this scenario, then I'm going to provide like what now? Byte, short, int, long, float, byte, short, int, long, float, double, character, boolean. How many number of primitive data types can I listed here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 number of primitive data types here I have provided. 8 number of primitive data types that I have provided. Here we can understand now. Right, sir. Now, this byte here, what we are getting there, byte equivalent to this byte, one wrapper class was provided, that is in now java.lang.byte. Java.lang.byte. Next one is, in the case of the short here, what we are getting there, java.lang.short. Java.lang.short. Next one is java.lang.integer. Here we provided java.lang.integer. Then after that, java.lang.long. Then after that, for float data type, now a separate thing is provided. Java.lang.float. Java.lang.float. Next one, double. Java.lang.double. Then after that, java.lang.character. The next one is like what now? Java.lang.boolean. Right, so now this is like what I'm telling there, no? That exact byte to byte, short to short, int to integer, long to long, float to float, double to double, and so on and so on and so on. Right, sir. Good. These are like what now? Primitive data types, then and equivalent wrapper classes. All these wrapper classes are provided in like what now? In java.lang package. All the wrapper classes are provided in like what now? Java.lang package. Right, so now this is the point here we can understand. Right? Good. Then after that, after completion of this, then what next one here? We have to understand now. After understanding this part here, how all these wrapper classes are provided by Java. Java has provided all the wrapper classes Java has provided all the wrapper classes as immutable classes. Then now tell me what is the meaning of this immutable classes now? Java has provided all the wrapper classes as immutable classes. What's the meaning of this immutable classes, guys? Then what is the meaning of immutable objects and mutable objects? What's the meaning of immutable objects and mutable objects, guys? Immutable objects are the Java objects which are not allowing modifications on its content. But mutable objects are the Java objects which allows the modifications on its content. Right? If you're trying to perform modifications on immutable object content, data is allowed for modification, but the modified resultant data will be stored in a new object, not will be stored in a existed object. Original object is not getting any changes. No, only new object will be created, and the new object only new data will be stored. This is called as like what? No, immutable object. But what is this mutable object? Mutable object is a Java object. It able to allow modifications directly on its content. So this is the meaning of like what? No, mutable objects. Right, sir. Now Java has provided all the wrapper classes as immutable classes. That means whose objects are not allowing modifications on its content. Whose objects are not allowing modifications on its content. If we are trying to perform modification on its content, then data is allowed for modification. Data is allowed for modification, but the resultant, modified data will not be stored. Resultant modified data will not be stored back in original object, and the resultant modified data will be stored. Resultant modified data will be stored by creating new object. That's it. This is exactly the meaning of like what? No, immutable objects. All wrapper classes are like what? No, immutable objects. Exactly same as string only. You know already string is like what? No, immutable object. String is like what? No, immutable object. Understand it clearly what I'm telling you. Right, sir. That's okay, fine. That's the point we can understand clearly. Next one is after that, after completion of this, by using wrapper classes, what exactly the conversions here we are able to perform. By using wrapper classes, what are the various conversions here we are able to perform. Let's observe this clearly. I want to show diagram here. By using wrapper classes, we are able to perform number of conversions. What are the various conversions here we are able to perform there? Observe carefully here. Here I am going to take string. Now this is like what now? Primitive data types. Primitive data types. Then here we are able to have object type. Right, sir. Now here by using wrapper classes, what we are able to perform the changes here. If you think about it, first one would be primitive type to object type. Primitive type to object type. Next one is object type to primitive type. Right, sir. Primitive type to object type and object type to primitive type. This is one type of conversion. String type to object type. Then string type to object type. Next one is object type to string type. In a simplified manner, I'm going to give all these conversions, guys. Easily we can understand it, no? These are the another two conversions we are able to perform. Next one is string type to primitive data type. Next one is primitive data type to string data type. Primitive data type, string data type. That's it. These are overall conversions we are going to perform by using. They are overall conversions we are able to perform by using like what, no? Wrapper classes. That's it. Now here even our responsibility is also like what, no? Understanding about these types of conversions only. Understanding these types of conversions only here we have to understand. Now let's start one by one, all the types of conversions can. What are the conversions here we are expecting there? Now let us start all the types of conversions. Then first type of conversion here I want to say, number one, conversions from primitive data types to object type. Conversions from primitive data type to object type. Here three approaches are available to convert the data from primitive data type to object type. No, here we are having three approaches. What are the three approaches here we are having there? What are the three approaches here we are having? No, the three approaches here like what? No, first one is by using parameterized constructor. By using parameterized constructor. By using parameterized constructor from wrapper classes. That's example I'm telling to you. Public integer of, it's a constructor where we are going to provide like what, no, int value. Instead of saying this only integer, no, just we can understand capital XXX, then where small xxx, where capital XXX would be byte short classes, wrapper classes, and so on. Small xxx would be primitive data types, values like what, no, byte short int and so on. Okay, now here we are going to see that example here clearly how we are able to perform this conversion here by using this constructor. Example case here I'm telling to you, public integer of int value. Integer conversion here we are going to perform int to int. We are going to see that anyway. Right guys, just wait a minute of time. I'll show this point even through programmatically also. Just we are converting primitive data type to object type by using like what, no, constructor. Constructor is one of the approach. Like this we are able to use number of approaches, no, but we are going to understand all these approaches exactly. That's it. Just wait a minute of time. I'll say this. Now here the point is like what, no, int I is equal to, I've taken guys. I'll have to this, no, I variable is what, no, integer type, no. Integer in is equal to new integer of I. Integer in is equal to new integer of I. That's it. Int I is equal to 10, integer in is equal to new integer of I. I want to display both the values. I value I want to display plus space plus in. Both the values I'm trying to display. Now we are able to get same value. Now we are able to get like what, no, same value. That means 10 space 10. Both the values here we are getting 10 space 10. Understand it clearly now. So this is like what, no, one approach. One approach of converting data from int type to integer. That means primitive data type to object type. This is one example. Okay, that's it. Next one is another approach is like what now? Second one, by using value of method from wrapper classes. By using value of method from wrapper classes. That means public static xxx value of here what we have to provide it. Now this is not like small xxx, it would be like what no capital xxx. Here small xxx then value. That's it. By using value of method from wrapper classes. Now see this example here I want to say no regarding this. Now here int I is equal to 10, integer in is equal to, just what I'm going to do now, integer dot value of I. Value of I variable is existed here. Understand it clearly. Integer in is equal to integer dot value of I. Right. So now the same thing here I'm going to execute. Now we are able to execute the same. We are able to get the output like this 10 space 10. Here we are getting it 10 space 10. Now this is exactly the meaning of like what no by using value of method. So in the previous one, where is the constructor? In the sense, this is the constructor what we are using. This is a constructor call. There I provided that integer value, int value that is converted here. Yes, Mamta, ma'am, understand it now. This is like what a constructor inside this object creation. Right, sir. Then after that, after understanding this, third approach is available. What about this third approach now? By using auto boxing mechanism. By using auto boxing mechanism. By using auto boxing mechanism. What is this auto boxing mechanism? What is this auto boxing mechanism? Auto boxing mechanism in the sense like what now? Auto boxing mechanism was provided in a JDK 1.5 version. In this mechanism, we will assign primitive variable or primitive data directly to the respective wrapper class reference variable. What we are able to do in this mechanism, auto boxing mechanism was provided in JDK 1.5 version. In this mechanism, we will assign auto boxing mechanism. We will assign auto boxing. We will assign primitive variables or primitive data directly to the respective wrapper class reference variable. Not required to use any predefined method. Not required to use any predefined constructor. Directly, we are able to assign that primitive data. The required conversion would be performed by JVM internally. Required conversion would be performed by JVM internally. Whenever we assign I variable to in variable, so JVM will take the responsibility of converting that I value to integer in. I value to integer in. That JVM will perform that type of conversion internally. Understand it clearly. So this is like what I'm telling to you. This is the meaning of like what no auto boxing mechanism. Here we are getting it 10 space 10. That what we are getting now. That's okay, fine. This is one mechanism. Okay. Next one is then after that. Then this is about like what no overall conversions from primitive data to object type. Primitive type to object type. Overall 3 types of conversions here we have done. What 3 types of conversions here we have done here from primitive type to object type no? If you observe these 3 types no, first one is like what no, int I is equal to 10, integer in1 is equal to new integer of I, new integer of I. Then after that, integer in2 is equal to integer dot value of I, integer in3 is equal to I. That's it. That this is auto boxing mechanism. Right, so there are the three approaches here we are having to convert the data from primitive type to objective type maximum. Okay, good. This part is completed. 1 minute. Now let me save it now. Next one is then after that, after completion of this, just I want to go for next conversion. The next conversion would be converting data from objective type to primitive type. Converting data from objective type to primitive type that I want to perform. Second type of conversion, conversions from objective type to primitive type. Conversions from objective type to primitive type. Here also two approaches are available to convert the data from objective type to primitive type. Here two approaches are available. What are the two approaches here we are getting there? Then the very first approach is like what now? The very first approach is by using XXX value method from wrapper classes. Public XXX value method from wrapper classes, where XXX would be byte comma primitive data types, short comma int and so on. That's it. Now example here we are going to see now. Right. For example, my requirement is already we had wrapper class object. Integer in is equal to new integer. Right, sir. Integer I is equal to new integer of, I provided 10 is a value. So integer object is created with the 10 is a data. Here integer object is created with the 10 is a data. Then after that, now what I am going to do now, int I is equal to, sorry, now integer int I is equal to integer dot int value method is existed. Integer dot int value, that means xxx value, byte value, short value, int value, like this long value, float value, like this here we are able to have int value. Right, sir. Whenever we are getting I value and I integer, no. Right now I want to display system.out.println of integer plus a space plus a I. You can see same output here we are able to get. Same output here we are able to get here. Just we are converting the data from objective type to primitive type. Finally, then this is integer is an object type that we are converted to like what no integer type now. So this is one mechanism to convert the data from objective type to integer type now. Next one, another mechanism is existed. What about this another mechanism? By using auto unboxing mechanism. Auto unboxing. What is the meaning of this auto unboxing actually? Right, sir. Auto unboxing mechanism was introduced. Auto unboxing mechanism was introduced in JDK 1.5 version. Here we will assign wrapper classes reference variables to the primitive data types. Wrapper classes reference variables to the primitive data types or primitive variables. Directly we are able to do this. So this is about like what now auto unboxing. Now let's understand this now. How we are able to perform this. Now I'll take like what now. integer is equal to new integer of 10. Int I is equal to integer. Something else here we are using it. Just leave this one. Not required. Directly here we can provide like what? No, integer. Directly we can provide like what? No, integer. Int I is equal to integer. That what we assign directly. So now whenever we are assigning directly integer value to the int variable, the required conversion could be done by JVM internally, and finally the data will be transferred from integer object to int variable. Data is converted from integer object to int variable. Where Cessna doubted println of integer space I, the value we provided, so automatically that conversion is also be performed. Now let's execute this now. Now here we are getting the data like what? No, 10 space 10 output here we are getting. So this is one type of conversion. Here what we are getting clearly. Right. So now this is an example here. This is like what? No, auto unboxing. This is exactly the meaning of like what? No, auto unboxing. So there are the two types of conversions which are available in the conversions from object type to primitive type. One is by using XXX value method. Second one is by using auto unboxing. Now let's fill that in our diagram here. There we can understand integer I n is equal to new integer of 10. Integer I n is equal to new integer of 10. Then after that, I1 is equal to in dot into value method into I2 is equal to directly in. This is auto unboxing, assigning that wrapper class reference variable to primitive variable directly. And I2 is equal to in. That's it. So this is like what? No, another type of conversion here what we performed. That's from primitive type to object type and object type to primitive type. They are the two types of conversions here we understood clearly. That's okay, fine. Now let's move on to the third type of conversion. The third type of conversion would be string type to object type. Right, so third one would be like what? No, conversions from string type to object type. Conversions from string type to object type. Right, sir. Now here, in these conversions from string type to object type, no, here we are able to have some mechanisms. What are the various mechanisms are available? First one is by using string parameterized constructor. By using string parameterized constructor. Let's understand this clearly. By using string parameterized constructor. Okay. Public XXX of string value. That means example point of view observe this public integer of int value. Sorry, string value. That integer value we have to represent in the form of string. So I'll see this example also. Now okay, what we have to do now? First we have to provide string str is equal to 100. Integer in is equal to new integer of string str. Str plus a space then plus in. Str space in. That both the values here we are trying to display. Whenever you are displaying this data, there we are able to get our required outputs. 100 space 100. That outputs here we are getting. That's that outputs here we are getting exactly. Okay, this is conversions from string type to object type, one type of conversion. Then another type of conversion is also be existed here. What about this another type of conversion here? By using static value of method. by using static value of method. What is this method prototype now? Public static value of what we are able to provide the value of, in the sense, public static. Now again, capital XXX dot value of string value of like what we are getting now, string value. The string value here we are getting. Okay. Now here what I am telling now, then I'll show an example here. Let's observe this clearly. Now okay, string str is equal to 100 I have taken now. String str is equal to 100. Then inside this integer in is equal to, in place of this, just what we have to take now, integer dot value of str. System dot println of here str space in, str space in, the values here we provided. Okay. Now okay, let me execute this. Str is 100. Integer dot value of str, that we are getting into like what now, in SOP of str space n. 100 space 100, that what we are getting now. Okay. Right, so this is like what here providing the no conversions. This is like what no string type to integer type conversions here we are performing. Guys, now tell me, I'm asking one question to all of you. Tell me why we are doing all these conversions. What is the requirement to convert all of them? Any specific reason? People are now, this question people are asking there. What is the requirement to perform all these conversions? What is the requirement to perform all these conversions? In the sense, your question should be, what is the purpose of what is the purpose of wrapper classes? What is the purpose of wrapper classes? What is the purpose of wrapper classes? To convert the data from primitive data type to object type and object type to primitive data type. Then what is the purpose of converting data from primitive type to object type and object type to primitive type? What is the purpose now? What is the purpose now? To manage primitive data in a collection objects. To manage data in collection objects, we require this type of conversions. To perform this type of conversions, we have a predefined classes. That predefined classes here we are understanding. Understand it clearly now. That initially I given this total clarity, even diagrams also were given. Now people are asking this question, what is the requirement of all these conversions now? Why I'm talking about this diagram clearly? What you understood from this diagram? Yes? What you understood from this? Yeah, here conversions we are performing there, primitive type to object type. Later on that object type data we are going to keep inside the collections. Object type to primitive type also. When we are retrieving the data from this object type to, when we are retrieving data from collections to outside, no, then we have to read that object type first. After that we have to convert the data from object type to into type. Yeah. Anyway, now understand it clearly. Then after that. So now overall, two types of conversions here we are performing, from string type to object type now. Let's observe this clearly. String type to object type conversions here we already provided. Now here, what exactly the things here we provided now? String str is equal to 10 we provided. Then after that, integer in1 is equal to new integer of str. Integer in2 is equal to integer dot value of str. Right, that's okay, fine. The next type of conversion would be object type to string type that I want to convert. Object type to string type that I want to convert. Right, then fourth type of conversions from object type to string type. Conversions from object type to string type. All of you observe this now what I'm telling to you. In conversion from object type to string type, no, here few approaches are available. What are the various approaches are available? Then first one is like what, no? By using toString method. By using toString method. Method prototype would be public string toString method. Public string toString method. So now we will see an example here. For example, I'm having integer ion is equal to new integer of 20. Here, this is wrapper class object that I want to get into string. String str is equal to in dot toString method. System.out.println of in space plus str. This data is existed now. Now here we are getting 20 space 20. First 20 is like what, no, wrapper class object, and second 20 is what, no, str. So this is one mechanism we can understand now. Similarly, the second mechanism would be like what, no, by using plus concatenation operator. Right. By using plus concatenation operator. Observe carefully. You know already one point here. In Java, when we concatenate any variable or any value with double quotations, in Java, when we concatenate any value with double quotations by using plus operator, then the resultant value will be converted to string type only. It will not come to the respective data. String type only here we are getting. Right, sir. Then one more point in Java, when we concatenate any value with double quotations by using plus operator, then the resultant value will be converted to string type only. Why? Because what is the reason for it? No, why? Because JVM will access toString method over the values, over the value toString method internally JVM will access toString method only. For example, I'm going to be specific now, try to understand it clearly. What I'm providing there, first of all, here we are having integer object. This is integer. Now here I'm trying to get the data in the form of string. String str is equal to in dot toString method, not less. Already we completed this. Double quotation plus in. This is almost all equal to like what, no, double quotation plus in dot toString method. This is almost all equal to double quotation plus in dot toString method. Okay. All right. So then after that, here what we are able to provide there, system.out.println of en plus space plus what next one, no, str. I'll see some output here. 10 space 10, 10 space 10 here we are getting. There's an output here we are getting the 10 space 10. That's it. This is one example here we can understand. Now here total two conversions are available. Conversions from object to type to string to type. No, two things are existed. What are the two things here? First one is by using toString method. Second one is by using plus concatenation operator. So if we concatenate any reference variable with the double quotations, internally JVM will access toString method over the reference variable. So whatever the values are returned by this toString method, that return value will be appended to double quotation. Total result value will come in the form of like what? No, string only. Right, so now let me provide this. This is like what? No, object to type to string type. Now here we are able to provide like what? No, integer in is equal to new integer of 10 integer in is equal to new integer of 10. Okay, then after that, after completion of this, then what next one get? After that I need to provide like what? Now string str1 is equal to in dot toString method and string str2 is equal to double quotation plus in. In these two mechanisms we are able to convert data from object to type to string to type. Now that's okay, fine. Next one is I want to convert the data from primitive data type to string type. Then after that we will see string type to primitive data type. Next one, fifth type of conversion would be conversions from primitive type to string type. To convert the data from primitive data type to string type, now here we are having some mechanisms. What are the mechanisms here? First one is by using static toString method from wrapper classes. Example I'm telling to you, public static string toString of xxx value, where xxx may be byte comma short comma int and so on. That's the xxx would be like what? No, byte to short to int and so on. Right, sir. Example code here we are going to understand. First of all, now this would be like what? No, primitive type to string type. Int I is equal to 10. Int I is equal to 10. The data is existed here. For example, int I is equal to 10. String str is equal to integer dot toString of integer dot toString of integer dot static toString method toString of I. I think in the latest versions that was changed. No, toString method is existed here. Okay, no issues. Now here we are getting it actually. Whenever we are getting this, no, now sysnut outward println of here will provide I plus space plus str. So the values I'm displaying. No, now here we are able to get like one is 10 and other one is like what? No, string value. This first one is integer and this second one is what? No, string value. So this is one mechanism. Here we can understand. No, converting from what? Converting from primitive type to string type. This is first mechanism. Second mechanism is available by using plus concatenation operator. What's the meaning of it now? In Java applications, if we concat any primitive data with a double quotation by using plus operator, then the resultant value will be converted to string. The resultant value will be converted to string. Right, that is string reference value only. Right, so anyway, then we are going to understand it. Int I is equal to string str is equal to what we have to provide there, double quotation plus I. Double quotation plus I, then automatically the data will be converted from like what now? Like integer type to string type only. Double quotation plus I, concatenation here we are performing. Execute this, here we are getting the data like what now? 10 space 10. What is that output here we are getting? 10 space 10 output here we are getting. Right. This is, there are the two types of conversions. Converting data from primitive type to string data type now. Let's see this clearly. Primitive data type to string data type. Now first here we have to take int I is equal to 10. String str1 is equal to, then what we have to provide there, integer dot to string of I, string str2 is equal to double quotation plus I. They are the two mechanisms. So there are the two mechanisms about to convert the data from primitive data type to string data type. That's it. Next one is, then after that, after completion of this particular one, what next one here we are understanding now. I want to convert the data from string type to primitive data type. Last one, I want to convert the data from string type to primitive data type. Last type of conversion. This we are going to use frequently in Java applications. Only one approach is available by using parse XXX method. Right, sir. Then what about this parse XXX method? Public static XXX parse XXX of, here we have to provide like what is the value here we are able to get now, string data. If you pass string data as a parameter, no, it will return the respect to int type or boolean type or like this, like bytes type, that we are able to get clearly. So we'll see an example on the base of this. Now first of all here what we have to take now, string str is equal to 10, here we have to take string str is equal to 10. Then what next one? Then after that, after taking this 10, I have to convert this data into integer value. So integer dot parse int of str. Right, sir. Integer dot parse int of str. Then here we are able to get like what? No, system.out.println of str plus space plus I. Right. Directly we can run it. 10 space 10 here we are getting. Right. Only one mechanism is available about to convert the data from string type to primitive data type. So overall, all the conversions here we completed. In the diagram I want to provide now okay, I'll provide like what now, string type to primitive data type. String str is equal to 10. String str is equal to 10. Then after that, after this 10, now get int I is equal to integer dot parse int of str. And automatically we are converting the data from string type to int type, integer type here we are converting. So now this is exactly like what now, conversions from primitive, that means string type to primitive type. Right, sir, almost all the conversions we completed. Right, nearly 6 types of conversions which wrapper class are offering. All the 6 types of conversions here we completed. What are these 6 types of conversions here? What we provided actually, right, sir? Primitive type to object type and object type to primitive data type. String type to object type and object type to string. Next one, primitive type to string type and string type to primitive data type. So these are overall the conversions we are able to perform by using like what now, by using wrapper classes. That's it. This is an intention of wrapper class and these are the various possibilities with the wrapper classes. Guys, then at the top of the webinar, we are having screenshot option. Try to collect the screenshot that everything is available inside this diagram. The total analysis I provided inside this diagram so that you can utilize this anyway. Okay. Right at the top of the this webinar, screenshot option is available. Just click on it. Automatically, this total content will be taken as like what no screenshot. Okay. All right, guys. That's all. This is about wrapper classes topic. And tomorrow in the regular timing and regular classes continuation, then today's specific topic here I've taken. Tomorrow we are going to cover regular, that means object orientation topic. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Till meet on tomorrow. Tomorrow the regular link, not this link, guys. Regular link, normal link is available. Then that regular link you have to use tomorrow. This link is on only weekends. On only Sundays I'm going to use this link, but regular link will be on regular on tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, guys.